Welcome to Callisto, a moon in Jupiter's orbit. The year is 2200. Tensions are at a breaking point on this mining colony. You see, it used to be that the arrangement between the Lunar Frontier Authority and the local mining group, the Breakers, was mutually beneficial. But lately, the LFA has been, let's say, overexerting their power and influence. There have been strikes, there have been protests. The LFA has now brought in mercenaries and equipped them with war machines. The Breakers are refusing to back down. The battle for Callisto has begun. How will it all play out? Well, that's what we're gonna find out in this episode of Table for One. Hi, I'm Paula, and today we are playing Undaunted 2200 Callisto, which is designed by David Thompson and Trevor Benjamin. The solo mode, which is of course what we will be playing today, that's why it's called Table for One, is designed by David Digby and David Terzi. That's a lot of Davids. I bet those email threads got a little confusing. The game is illustrated by Roland McDonald, and it is published by Osprey Games, who are helping to sponsor this episode. Now, if you want to know all the nitty-gritty on the rules of how to play Undaunted Callisto, you can check out Rodney's How to Play video, which is linked in the description below. There are some differences in the solo mode. We will be controlling a bot as our opponent, of course, instead of playing against an actual living, breathing human being. So I will be going over all of those differences in the rules while we play. But if you want the base information about how the game works, I really recommend you go check out Rodney's video and then come back over here to watch this. In Undaunted Callisto, we are, of course, on the moon. The year is 2200, and there are two factions. We have the Breakers, which is a local mining group tired of getting taken advantage of, and we have the LFA, the Lunar Frontier Authority, the corporation who's just trying to get what's theirs. You can choose to play either faction when you set up a scenario. In our case, I've chosen that we will be playing the Breakers, so our bot will be the LFA. Now, you can play any of the scenarios in the game, of course, as a standalone, or you can play them all in order as part of a campaign. Now, I have already played the first scenario of the game. We'll take it by force if we have to. Now, in scenario 1, the LFA have sent mercenaries to the surface of Callisto to try and quell the Breakers' budding uprising. But we're moving forward today to scenario 2, where the mercenaries sent by the LFA are here. They're at an ice dig site, Gamma 9, and the Breakers are trying to keep them from taking control of this site. This scenario is called You're Not Welcome Here. Can we kick the LFA out of this site? Can we maintain control of this dig site? Only one way to find out, and that's to play. Wish me luck. So here we are with our scenario set up. You get the information that you need on the board itself. It tells you who has the starting initiative. The Breakers do. So I have our initiative token flipped over to the Breaker side, and we can see our objectives here. So for the Breakers, we want to control 7 objective points or neutralize 3 LFA units. Now, our starting units, force number 1, we have a hewer, a scanner, and a blaster, A. They start here where it has the number 1. And then force number 2 is our Ripper, Survey Tech, and Nail Gunner C. They start here on number 2. The numbers match. And then, of course, for our LFA bots, they will be at space 1 here. Corpsec, Stalker, and Vulcan. Vulcan is one of their mechs, their war machines that they've pulled out of retirement, that they've sent their mercs in. And then we also have in their Force 2, Corpsec Z, Stalker Z, and Hades, one of their other mechs that they have. Now, one thing we haven't done yet is finish setting up all the tokens on the board. As you can see, we have already scouted some of the spaces here by this symbol, so we'll put scout tokens onto those spaces. And then a couple of places we already have control. We of course have control of our starting spaces, which are worth 2 points each. So that's pretty good. We'll start with 4 control points, and so we'll only need to get 3 more. And then our LFA bot opponents will also start with control of 4 objective points. And then they also have some spaces here that they already have scouted. You'll also see we have a couple of places, we have some bridges on this map. So those are elevated spaces. Now you can move under them when you're in this space, but to get up on the bridge, you have to enter it from one of its attaching spaces. We also have some places where mechs cannot go, and that's what this symbol here means. Kind of, it looks to me like a no spiders allowed symbol. So no mechs can go through these spaces. They're not able to traverse this terrain. You can see there's like dig site happening there. So I'm gonna get those tokens out on the board, and then we'll get going with our first steps. Okay, so I have all of our tokens on the board now, showing what has already been scouted and what is already controlled. And I'll just point out that in the solo mode, we have instructions here. So you can see there are instructions here on if you're playing against the breakers, it will tell you what their cards do whenever you pull one up. We're playing against the LFA, so we're gonna be using this one. So we here have a table of dangerous breaker units that will come into play when the LFA bot needs to determine priority for who they want to attack or move toward. And then we have the different procedures here that we'll be using the book for. So whenever we have a bot card that needs to take an action, we'll look here to see what they do. We also have a handy little quick reference flap that we'll be making use of, because as you can see, when you're running your game and a bot game, there's a lot to keep track of, and it's all here handy in the book for us. So we'll be referencing that while we play. Now, in terms of our units set up, we have our deck right here that has some cards already in it. And then everything from our supply list is here. We have Force 1, we've got our Scanner A, Blaster A, and Hewer A. And then, of course, our pile of interference cards. We're starting with 2 interference cards in our deck already. And the LFA deck also has 2 interference cards they're starting with. But we'll talk more about their makeup in just a second. So then our Force 2, we have our supply. We've got some Nail Gunner C, Survey Tech C, and Ripper C. So that's where we're going to be getting cards to bolster from when we need to from our supply. Now let's talk a little bit about how the LFA bot is set up. So we used the same chart to make their deck. So everything from this list, of course it has the D by it, goes into their deck. Now their supply works a little differently from ours, where we have all of our cards separated out in our supply so that we know what we're choosing and we can make kind of an active and informed choice about what we're putting into our deck. That's not exactly how it works for the bot. So their supply cards are separated into, in this case, 3 decks. We have Deck Y, which is a lot of the cards from LFA Force 1. We have Deck Z, which is a lot of the cards from LFA Force 2. And then we have Deck M. This happens to have a lot of our mech cards in it. So whenever we need to bolster, we don't know exactly what kind of card is going to come into the bot deck here. We will pick randomly from these shuffled up decks to add into the discard pile for the LFA. So that is how their bolstering and their deck construction works as a bot, as opposed to when another human is playing it. So I think with all of that being said, we roll into the game here. So luckily, as the breakers, we start with the initiative. So if our initiatives tie in this first round, it will go to us. Hopefully we'll be able to keep it, but we'll see what happens. So the first thing I need to do, of course, is to draw 4 cards into my hand. All right, so let's see here. I need to pick one of these to be our initiative value. I'd like to keep initiative, but I also don't want to spend too high of a card and not get to take advantage of like the ability of that powerful card, right? It's always, that's the balance. And you don't know what, it's not like, ooh, what's the other player gonna do here? We're gonna be drawing a random card from the LFA deck for their initiative. There's no telling what they're gonna come out with. Okay, so I have a scanner, which will let me scout and recon. We've already got quite a bit scouted, but we're going to have to do some more scouting if we want to get into these objective point places. Okay, we have 4, we need to get 7. So we need to take this for 1, this for 1, and this for 1. Or this for 1 and come over and take this for 2, but we'll have to take it away from them. So that's tricky. Our supervisor will let us bolster and command. Command is great, obviously, because we get to pull more cards into our hand. So I might want to keep that. Squad leader bolster, inspire, and guide, but only for A. Now I do have a lot of A in my hand right now. And then blaster, which will do some attacks. I'm gonna bid for initiative with my scanner. So I'm gonna put that here. I'm gonna hold on to these cards. And now let's find out what happens when the bot bids their initiative. So that means we're just gonna flip over the top card. Let me just give this a good shuffle. What if I didn't shuffle it before? And now I'm nervous. Oh geez. Is that our initiative card? I think that's fate saying that's your initiative card. Okay. So this is what the LFA is saying for their initiative. Oh, it's a stalker. It's a 6. But because we tied, I started with the initiative, so we get to keep the initiative. This is great because, now of course I have to discard this card. Put my discard pile here. And the LFA bot also discards their initiative card. Now, one thing that's different in the solo mode is whenever the bot wins the initiative, they don't discard that card. It goes into their play area. So they will get 4 action cards they get to do whenever they win the initiative, which is rough. It's rough. But luckily, we're not starting the game out that way. We get to discard this. I'll put their discard over here. So first, we will deal with our turn. So I have to decide how I want to do these things. Okay, so what I have here is this blaster can go, and then the squad leader can help them go again, and then the supervisor can either help me bolster or command. I can just draw a bunch of cards into my hand and see what other good things I get. Let's command to start off. Let's do that first thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my supervisor card. I'm going to command. I'm going to draw 2 more cards into my hand. So I'm going to play that out into my play area. I'm going to draw 2 more cards. This is what I've pulled here. Nail Gunner C, who could move 1, attack 2, or suppress 4. Now, of course, the number by the attack is the number of dice you roll. I think the first thing I want to do here is play my Nail Gunner, and I'm going to give him move 1. So I just want him to move into one of these spaces because I want to get him close to here. We need to get across the board to control this space. It's worth 1 point. So he doesn't have control, but he can be a good way to do some attacking and do some protection and defense if we get a unit with control action over to this space, right? So I'm going to do move 1, and he's going to come into a previously scouted space. So we don't need to add, he can move into it, and we don't need to add any interference into our deck. So he's going to come there, and that's just where he is. Now he can move into there. This is a lower elevation than these spaces, but he can just move in. He's not a mech, so we don't have to worry about this movement restriction. All right, so he's done his move 1. Then I have Hewer and a blaster. Now, neither one of those can scout, but they can start to make their way into here. So I wonder if I should put them together, or the Hewer needs to be, if the Hewer attacks, does their attack too? They need to be in the same space as whatever they're targeting. And so does the blaster has an area attack, which will attack everything in a space within range 2. Or they can do an armor piercing attack of 3, but they must be in the same space. We're just going to do some moving. Okay, so my Hewer is going to move, and they're going to move 1 into this space. Again, already scouted, and they can go in there because they're not a mech. And then my blaster is going to move 1, but they're going to come over here. So they're going to come at things from like a slightly different direction, I think. So my blaster is going to come over to here for their move 1. Now I have my squad leader who can let me inspire 1A. So any A, so either my Hewer or my blaster, A squad, can be inspired to come back into my hand, and then I get to play it again. And I can choose a new action for it that time. It doesn't have to be moved. So I might try and do some attacking. So I think I'm going to bring my blaster back into my hand, play it again. And I really want to be able to do this area attack on it, but it has to be within range 2. And I'm not within range 2 of any of their units. I'm 1, 2, 3 away from everything. So I think I might just move 1 to set myself up to maybe be able to do that area attack on the next time I pull the blaster card. Oh, and of course I played this to do the inspire. That's pretty good. I managed to play 5 cards on my first turn. That's a pretty good first turn. Okay, so for my inspire, I'm going to do the blasters move 1. Oh, they can't move in there because it's not scouted. They would have to move here. Pooh. Okay, you know what? Instead of moving them onto the bridge, keeping them elevated, which gives them better attack dice, I'm going to have them actually come down here onto this scouted space. Still move them onto the bridge, but I think I'm just going to keep them down below rather than up on the bridge, because I want them to be able to move into here to here eventually. And if I put them on the bridge, I can't just jump down off the bridge. I'd have to come here and here and here. So it's a less movement if I just immediately come down into here. That's it. That was their inspire. They got to do again, and so they've moved 1. So all of these will go into my discard pile. So now it is the LFA's turn, and our bot will take their first action. So we're going to take 3 cards from the LFA bot deck, and they're going to get played out in their initiative order. So we're going to do them one at a time. So, oh, an interference card. Lovely. That's a 1. So then we pull a commander. That's an initiative 4, so it'll go to the left of our interference. And then we pull a sergeant, which is a 7. That goes to the left of the 4. Now, the reason we do this one at a time is if I had pulled 2 4s, you break that tie by whichever one came out first stays to the left. So if this had been a 4, let's say, it would have come to the right of the first 4 that we drew. Hopefully that makes sense. But this is a 7. So now we resolve these in this order from left to right. So let's take a look at what our bot does using our handy guide here. Okay, sergeant. So first thing we're going to do is check the first thing and see if that's true. If it is, we'll resolve it. If that's not able to be resolved, we'll go down to the second option here and see if that can be resolved. If none of those things can be resolved, that card will take no actions this turn. If only part of the action can be resolved, as long as it would still affect meaningful change, you would do as much of the action as you can. If it wouldn't affect any meaningful change and you know like that's not the spirit of what this action is trying to do, they won't do it. Okay, so the sergeant, if there are matching cards in the play area, we will inspire 2 for the next matching cards, which means if there were other Z's in this play area, we would go, okay, this is a Z and this is a Z, so we'll inspire this card and this card. Or let's say let's just for an example, say this card was also out. It would technically go here. And let's say all 3 of these were Z's, it would inspire the next 2. So this one and this one. But if this was a Z and this was a Z, it would inspire this one, it would skip this one because it's a V and inspire this one. But of course, in this case, that's just an example. None of them are Squadron Z. So he's not going to inspire anyone. That's not true. So now we will go to the next thing in our list we're checking here. So that says we will bolster 2 in the matching squad. So that means we're going to take 2 cards from deck Z, because that's the squad Z, and we're going to put 2 of them into the discard pile. So I'll move this token off. These are just labeled so that we know what these decks are. So they're going to get a Corp Sec Z put into their discard, and they're also going to get a Stalker Z put into their discard. And that is the sergeant's turn. So now we go to the commander. The commander will try to attack. So basically first we check our defense threshold. So this action is not going to happen if this defense threshold can't be met, right? So if the defense of the person we're attacking, let's say they're on the same elevation as us. So that means we'd be rolling the D10. If the defense of whoever they can get is higher than 7, we won't do this attack. So we need to check. So let's talk a second about what it means when it says special attack. Because different mechs have different commanders, and these bot actions are trying to be applied to whatever commander you happen to pool, they might have different abilities on them. So some of them might be able to suppress, some of them might be able to bolster, some of them might have a regular attack, but some of them might also have like a pulse attack or something like that. So when it says special attack, it's telling you, hey, if they've got like a pulse or something special, that's the attack we want them to use. In this case, we are going to try to use just their regular attack here and see if they can hit anyone with that attack. So our Vulcan is right here at the back of the board, barely on camera. And so now we're going to see who is potentially within range that has the lowest defense and can that meet the threshold of our first procedure that's on our list here. Okay, so the closest one to them is the blaster. So that's who they're going to go after. So they are 2 spaces away. The bot is on an elevated space and the blaster is not. So that means we would be checking actually the D12 threshold because they're elevated. Maybe moving our blaster here was not a great idea. So according to our procedure chart, as long as their threshold is 8 or lower, we can do our attack on them. If not, we'll go to the next check and try and suppress. But I have a feeling the bot is going to be able to attack this blaster. So let's figure out our defense. There's no defense on the space itself. Bummer. We are 2 spaces away plus 4 natural defense. That is a total of 6 defense for the blaster, which definitely is lower than our threshold here of 8. So that means they're going to do their special attack X. Now the X there means we get the value from the card. And so this is an attack 2. So that's what we'll be doing. So that means we are rolling 2 D12s, and on a 6 or better, they will do a casualty to my blaster. I already have regrets. Oh boy. A 7 and a 4. So one of those definitely hits. Even if both of them had been a success, you still only take 1 casualty. So this blaster is gonna take a casualty. Oh my gosh, I haven't bolstered at all. I might. So I don't have anything in my hand, so I can't remove it from my hand. So next you go to your discard. And I will pull the blaster card I just used out, and it's gone. It's out of the game. It's a casualty. I'll put that in a face down casualty deck right up here, almost off camera. I don't like that. That does not make me happy. All right, that's the commander card. And then we have interference. They can't do anything with the interference. So their turn is over. Thank goodness. That all gets discarded and we go to the next initiative phase. Okay, so we're gonna draw 4 cards from our deck. Gonna be reshuffling soon. I wonder if I should be doing some bolstering. Ugh, probably need to bolster my blaster if I can. Okay, what have I pulled here? Ugh, interference, but I can recon with the tech, with my survey tech, which would be good to get the interference out of my hand. That's a blaster A. These are all C cards. I'm not gonna be able to bolster blaster A with my squad leader C. Ripper C is way over there. They could move. They have control, so if we start moving them over here, but I need my survey tech. Oh no. I need my survey tech to clear this interference. I'm not gonna use those. I'm gonna bid initiative with my Ripper. Oh, that's a really hard choice to make. But my squad leader can either bolster, inspire, or pathfind, which is gonna let me scout more spaces without moving into them. And I need to scout into here to be able to move into here and then control it. So, okay. So I'm bidding initiative with my 5 initiative Ripper card. Let's see what the LFA bot has for their initiative. Oh, we're tied again. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that means I keep the initiative. I'm so happy. This discards. They won't get access to it. It'll go in their discard pile. Mine also goes in my discard pile. And then I will play my 3 cards here. Okay, first I'm going to play my survey tech for its recon, which means I'm going to get this interference not only out of my hand, it goes out of the game, which I really am happy about. So I'm just gonna chuck that off to the side where no one can think about it anymore. And then I get to pull a new card into my hand to replace it that I can play this turn. So I'm gonna take my last card from my hand. Of course I should have known that was going to be interference. I should have known because there's only 2 to start off with in my deck and I just pulled the 1. This is why you gotta use your galaxy strats, people. So that's useless. I'll just put it in my discard. And then my squad leader will go, oh, well, here's the thing. Actually, I know I was gonna use him to pathfind, but look at this, y'all. What I could do, I'm gonna do this. So if we look at my squad leader, he's got Inspire 1C. Well, my survey tech is in squad C. So that means I can play my Inspire for my squad leader to pull this back into my hand. Take back this interference card. Because play him again, recon again, get this interference out of the game. Shuffle, because now I need to draw a card. Okay, these are those galaxy strats I was talking about. Shuffle and draw a new card and maybe it'll be something awesome. It's a hewer. Oh, my hewer. Okay, can move, control, attack, but it can't move here because we don't have... I'm going to try and attack. It's so far away. So I can't do my special attack here. This can only attack personnel. Okay, so I can't target the Vulcan, but I could target the Stalker or the Corpse Sec. I'm going to target the Corpse Sec because he has lower defense. So I do attack 1. Probably this is not going to hit because I'm rolling 1 die. I'm on lower ground. I'm kind of far away. This is probably not going to hit, but I'm going to try. So my hewer is going to try to attack. I'm at lower elevation than the Corpse Sec Y, which means we will be rolling a D8. So let's figure out what defense the Corpse Sec is at. So first let's go with just range. So I am 1, 2, 3 away. He has a defense of 4, so that's 7. And then if we look on this space, it has cover of +2. Oh no, that's a 9. I can't even do it. I can't do it because with the D8, I'll never hit a 9. Instead of attacking, I'll move 1 into this space. Basically, I'm not coming up on the bridge. I'm staying underneath the bridge, but I'll come next to my blaster. I'm still just 1 away from here. But now, you know, we're together. We're a team. And hopefully they don't have an area attack. Well, not the best turn I've had. Not the worst. There's some interesting things that happened in that, but not the best. So I'm going to put those in my discard. And now we're going to see what the LFA bot does on their turn. Every time I say that, does anyone else think of LFO? These mechs, they sure shoot a lot of hits. When the bullets hit, they make me sick. And I'm just fighting for my rights as a worker. Okay, so a 5 came out, a 7, so that comes out to the left, and a 9. Okay, so they come in this order based on their initiative. Now let's see what they do. The captain, we will roll a D10. That's this one. And that's going to tell us what is going to happen. So let's roll this D10 and see what number we get. A 4. So that means we're going to take a bolster 3 action. So now we roll the D10 again to see what squad we're going to bolster from each time. So I'm going to roll them one at a time. Okay, a 5, that means squad Z. An 8, that is another from Z. And a 4, which is from Y. So 2 from Z, 1 from Y. So here's the one from Y. They get a Stalker in their discard. 2 from Z, they get a Corpse Sec. And another Corpse Sec. They've got a lot in their discard. I don't like how much they have access to. So that's the captain. Done. Okay, Sergeant. So we check their procedure. So 1, matching cards in play. They will inspire 2. Well, there is a matching card in play, but only 1. So they will inspire this Corpse Sec Y. So that's the Sergeant. So that means the Corpse Sec is going to act twice. So the first time, if they can, they will control. They will not do that because they are in a space that is already controlled. So then we go to the next option. Space controlled and enemy occupied. No, there's no enemy in our space. If the space is secure, now that means basically that it's not being threatened. They aren't worried about it. This space is currently secure. It has their control. There are other units that are friendly to them in that space, they're not worried about losing this space if they leave it. And so that means it's secure. So they will move one toward a threatened objective. Right now, there are no threatened objectives because to be threatened, the bot needs to have control of it. There needs to be no friendly bot units in that space. And it needs to be under threat, under imminent threat by the enemy, which is us. And that threat is determined by, is one of our units in the space and do they have the ability to take the control action in that space? Well, none of that is true in this case. So then we go on to the next one. Uncontrolled scouted objective. We don't have a scouted objective that is uncontrolled because all of our objectives that are scouted are also controlled here and here. These are not scouted, or that one. Okay, so then we go to the space nearest to a threatened objective. Again, there's no threatened objective and there's no uncontrolled scouted objective. So we're going to skip C. So that's basically if we could not get in our move 1, if we could not get to the threatened objective or to the uncontrolled objective, then we would go to, okay, now what do? We can't get there in one move. We would go to C, the space nearest to, first we check A, then we check B. But neither of those things are true. We don't have a threatened objective or an uncontrolled scouted objective. So then we go to procedure 4, which is attack 1. So the corp sec Y is going to attack, and of course, there are things he can attack. The hewer and the blaster. Now they are equal distance from him and they have equal defense. So now we will go to our dangerous breaker units chart, which says the blaster is a greater threat to them than the hewer. So they're going to attack the blaster, which I don't like, again, because we've already lost a card for the blaster. This could be, we could just lose the blaster completely from the game because I didn't bolster him like a dum-dum. Ooh, and then he's gonna have to go twice. Okay, so he's attacking 1. Okay, so he's gonna attack the blaster. So that is a defense of 1, 2, plus 4, so that's 6. And again, our corp sec is higher elevated. They're going to be rolling 1d12, trying to get a 6 or better. That's a 50-50 shot. Please roll low. An 11. Oh my gosh. Blaster. I think my blaster might be dead. I don't have one in my discard pile. I don't think I have any in my deck. I think I got rid of the one that I had. That is really bad. This blaster is now, they have now neutralized one of my breaker units because this blaster is out of the game. So I'm going to put this over here by all their stuff. They have this. My blaster's done. I'm just going to flip these over, my blaster A, so I don't think I can take those. I can't say I'm a big fan of that. And now, because they're inspired by the sergeant, they get to go again. So they're going to attack again because all those other things in the procedures that we checked, they're still true. So now they're going to attack our hewer. It's all the same thing. 1 die. 6 or better is what they need to hit. A 9. Good. I need to bolster ASAP. Okay, so this hewer is going to come out of my hand into the casualty world. This is immediately not going super great for me. All right, that's them. Not thrilled, not thrilled. All right, draw 4 cards. Let's see what we have here. Supervisor will let me bolster. I want that. Squad leader will let me bolster as well. I could get more scanners. He'll let me scout and recon, which could be good. What have they pulled? What is likely to come up for them in their initiative? I'm scared. All right, I'm gonna use my nail gunner C as my initiative bid. It's only a 4, so I don't know what they're gonna come up with. We might lose the initiative now. I can't believe this is wild. This is the only thing that's going my way so far in this game. So they pull a card that is a 4. And I have a 4. The tie goes to the person who already has initiative. So I keep initiative, amazingly enough, and this gets discarded. Now, at some point, they are going to win initiative, and you're going to see some of the different things that happen when the bot has initiative, but for now, this goes away. Wow, this goes away for me. Okay, I have 3 cards. I want to bolster real bad. So I can bolster anything. So I'm scared of losing my hewer. So I definitely want 1 more hewer. Let's get a Ripper C in there because they can attack and control. And I'm also going to I'm going to use C's because my squad leader can bolster an A, which might be a good thing. Let's do a survey tech. So we've just got one of everything now from C added to my deck. Then we will scanner A, who's going to scout 2. So that means they're going to come into this space, already scouted, no big deal. And then they're going to come into this space, scout. So now we can move into it and try and control it. But that does put an interference, of course, into our discard. But we only have one because we did spend some time getting rid of interference. Then we have our squad leader. Now, I can either have them inspire the scanner and have them do more scouting and moving or attacking, but I don't think that's what we should do. We can guide. Now the guide lets me move another friendly combat counter up to this number of spaces. So it would have to be someone in A, so either the scanner or the hewer, and they could move 1. My hewer does have control. Oh yeah, I'm actually gonna guide 1A, and that's going to guide my hewer into this space. Now they can move from here to here. They just can't move from here onto the bridge, right? They have to move onto the bridge from this space or this space. So they're gonna come here so that next time when I pull a hewer, hopefully they're still alive, they're right in the place they need to be to control and get us one of our much needed control points. Okay, these all go into my discard. My deck has gotten much fatter this turn. Time for the LFA. I think we're gonna have to shuffle their deck. There's only 2 cards here. So let's flip one over. They get 3, 6, which is a Stalker, 1, which is interference. All right, and then we'll shuffle this deck. Suffer a Vulcan casualty. I'm scared. They've bolstered quite a bit. There's a lot of cards in this deck. Okay. One more. Let's see what it is. Commander, 4. Okay, so that goes here. Ugh. All right, so our Stalker Z is going to go first. So first, if there's interference in the play area, they will recon. So their interference comes out of the game. I'm gonna put that over there. So that is the Stalker, that's what they do. Now their Commander will first try to attack. So they would have an attack of 2. And again, our first threshold for their attack is 6, 7, or 8. So let's see who is closest to them. We're looking again at Vulcan because she's the commander for the Vulcan mech. And they will definitely would want to attack over here because it is an enemy occupied objective. The scanner has more defense. So I think they want to go after the hewer because it has less defense. So it's going to be easier for them to hit. So let's see here. We've got 1, 2 spaces away. The space itself does have some defense. So that is a 3. And then the hewer has a natural defense of 4. So that's a total defense of 7 for the hewer. Now they are both on elevated spaces. They're on the same level. So they'll roll a D10. That just meets the threshold. On a D10, it's 7. So they will take this attack. So it's an attack 2. So they're going to roll 2 D10s. An 8 and a 2. So this 8 hits. So we suffer a casualty. We need to start doing some attacking ourselves. This is out of control. I just bolstered this hewer. Is that my only hewer card that I have? No, I think there's one still in the deck here. Okay, there's a hewer card. Casualty, out of the game. Bummer. Okay, and that is the bot's turn. We'll put that in their discard pile. And initiative again. So I have one card here. It's a Ripper. Oh no! That was my only hewer card. How did this happen? Oh, because I put it in my discard when I bolstered. I need another hewer, my whole plan. I need to bolster more hewers. All right, then I get 3 more. Keep pulling the supervisor. Okay. Squad leader A, that's gonna let me bolster. Scanner will let me scout and recon. I might bid with my scanner. I'd like my Ripper to be able to do some things. Because my Ripper's up here. Be nice for them to be able to start to move their way toward where they can control. Okay, I'm going to bid initiative with my scanner, which is a 6. At some point, my initiative luck is going to run out. So let's see. Is it now? Is now the moment? Sure is. Their sergeant comes out. Check it. It's about to get bad. Okay. My card goes away because that's how the game works. But their card comes into their play area. And now they draw 3 cards. So now they're going to have 4 cards to work with. Thank goodness one of them is interference. All right. So this is what they've got. So first, our sergeant. So let's check our procedures here. They will inspire if there are matching cards in the play area. There are 2 matching cards, and they inspire 2. So they will inspire both of those. So both of these will be inspired. So to help mark that, we're just going to rotate them so that when we use them the first time, we'll rotate them back, and then we'll know, oh, we can use these again. So that's the sergeant. I'm going to put that away in the discard. Then we have our stalker. So if there's interference in the play area, they'll recon. That comes out of the game. And then they will go like this. And now I do them again. Okay, there is no longer interference in the play area. So now we'll go to the next thing on the procedure line. Space shared with an enemy unit. Stalker Z is right here. They're not in a space shared with an enemy unit. So the next thing, if the space is secure, this space is secure. It is not under threat right now. They will scout 2 to a threatened objective. If the objective is controlled by a bot and we have our units in that space who could possibly take control away, that is threatened. But right now, even though we're in this space and we could possibly take control of it, it's not considered threatened. It is not bot controlled. So there is no threatened objective right now. So then we will go to unscouted objective. So their closest unscouted objective is one that we are also trying to get to right here. So that is where they're going to scout to. They're going to scout to, as opposed to scouting to. They're scouting to scout to. You know what I mean. Now, if it's more than 2 spaces away and they couldn't get to it in that one movement, then we would go through some other things. But they actually can too. So they are going to move. Here's our stalker. 1, already scouted. 2, they're going to put a scout marker here. They've scouted this, and that adds an interference, of course, to their discard pile, just like if they were a regular human player. Okay, so that's the stalker. They've gone twice with their inspire. Now we have our corp sec. So first they will control. They're already in a space of control. If the space is controlled and enemy occupied, it sure isn't. If the space is secure, they will move 1 toward. Based on these options, we're going to do the uncontrolled scouted objective. Now, they can't get there. It's just move 1. They can't get there in one go. So we'll see if whatever space is nearest to that uncontrolled scouted objective, and it's this one. That just makes sense, right? So they're going to move 1 into this space. But now they go again because of their inspire, and they're going to do that exact same thing, and that is going to put them in this scouted space, which now they could possibly control on their next turn. We're getting kind of demolished here. That discards. Oh, it's our turn. Wow, we finally get to go. Okay. So I think we're going to command with our supervisor and see what other cards we get. I'm going to draw 2 cards. Interference and a survey tech. Well, our survey tech sure can recon and get this interference out of our deck, which I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to play my survey tech to recon. This interference goes out of the game, and we get to draw a new card. Ooh, we have 2 Ripper. Ooh, I do like that. I like that a lot. I wish we had this scouted. That's all right. So, our squad leader we're going to use to bolster 2A. So I want this hewer to be able to do something. I'm getting 2 hewers into my deck because this hewer needs to be able to control. Okay, so that's them. I don't need to use their inspire because 1, it wouldn't work. These are squad C's and they're only for squad A, but I also have 2 of them. So now we're going to play Ripper C, this guy. He's going to move 1. So he's going to move into this space. Is he? No, he's gonna move into this scouted space. Then I'll play his other card and he's going to attack 1. So I moved him here rather than here. Even though this would only be 1 space away, he'd be rolling a lower die. And here he's 2 spaces away, but he's on the same elevation level as whatever he'll be attacking in here. I think we're gonna go after the corpse sec. And so that's gonna let me roll a d10 instead of a d8. And I think that's just a better option, even though it means we're adding 1 to the defense value. So our Ripper is going to attack 1, targeting our corpse sec. The bot's corpse sec. And so that's 1, 2 away. There's 1 defense of cover on this space, so that's 3, plus 4 on the corpse sec, so that's 7. So we need to get a 7 or better on a d10. We have a less than 50% shot, but we could do it. Come on. 7! That's it exactly. So now the bot takes a casualty. A couple different things are going to happen here. First, we're going to search the discard pile for a corpse sec Z. Now we have one right here. So easy. That comes out of the game. That's a casualty. We'll put that in their casualty pile. We'll just put that in with their interference. That's fine. Now, if there wasn't anything in their discard pile, we would search their deck. And if not in their deck, we would search the appropriate bolster deck to take out something. If there had been none of those cards for the corpse sec existed anymore, this would come off the board. And of course, that would be a neutralized unit on our behalf. I forgot to flip our initiative token to show that they actually had the initiative this turn. If we had the initiative, I would then take a control marker and put it on the token of the unit that I just inflicted a casualty on. And that means at the start of their turn, we would remove this marker or any markers that are on units, and we would take that card. If it happened to be in their play area, we would take it out. But that doesn't happen because they had the initiative. I just forgot to flip the token. But that basically mimics the thing in the game where if I'm playing against you and you inflict a casualty on me, you have the initiative, I haven't gone yet. I first have to pull that unit from my hand if I have it, which means I have fewer cards to play when it's my turn. It kind of mimics that dynamic with the bot. But in this case, it doesn't happen because they have the initiative, and you only do that if you have the initiative. Great, and that is both of these cards. These are all going to get discarded. That is the end of the round, and so it's time to battle for initiative again. I only have 3 cards in my deck, so I'm going to take those and then shuffle these to get my 4th card. Let's see what I ended up with. Got a Hewer. Yes! Oh, I can control! I'm so excited. We're using this to control. Nail Gunner C. Ooh, we could suppress or attack. That could be really good. I need to get scouted over here. Survey Tech C can only scout 1, but we can get closer. And a squad leader who could pathfind. Oh, this is how we're gonna, okay, so that's how we're gonna scout, which means I'm gonna use my Survey Tech to bid for initiative because I don't need them to do the scouting. That's a 6. Okay, come on, let me win the tie back. I mean, I won't win if it's a tie, so be lower than a 6. It is! It's a 5! Haha! I have the initiative! This goes away. You don't get it. Okay, this goes away. I don't get it. Alright. So let's see here. First, I'm going to play my Hewer, and we're going to control this space. So this now has a flipped scouted marker over to the control side. I have 1 more control point, so I now have 5 of the 7 that I need. Take it, LFA! Okay, then my squad leader is going to pathfind. So I will choose a friendly combat counter. I'm going to use my Nail Gunner. And from there, they can pathfind 2. So those have to be in a line adjacent, like they can see the path. They've been given like, oh, I can see, hey, I'm a squad leader and I'm up above you and I can see a path in front of you and it's here and here and here. So then those become scouted. But the unit does not move. That's important. So we can do here Pathfind 2 with a C squad unit. They have to be contiguous spaces. So we're going to scout here. And that gets us 1 interference card. Now, I don't have to do the whole thing, and I don't think I will, because I think it will be better for me to try and go here rather than try and go over here and take control away from this space, because my survey tech could start to make its way over there. So I think I'm just going to pathfind 1 and only take the 1 interference card. I need to keep track of what I'm playing. Okay, then my nail gunner C. Who can move, or they can attack? Should they move in to the space, or should they attack before they move in? They should move. They could attack, but they're going to roll a d8 because they're 1 elevation lower. Let's just see what it would be. So it would be 1 against the corpse sec. Now to control this, we have to remove all of the, we can't have any enemy units in a space that we want to control, right? We have to get rid of them. So the corpse sec is going to be the easiest one to do because he's the weakest. So our nail gunner, it would be 1 plus 1 for cover on the space. So that's 2. So that's 6. Let's try it. Let's attack. Let's try to attack. Why not? So I'm rolling a d8 because I'm at a lower elevation and I need a 6 or better. That's a 1. That didn't do it. That's a bummer, but what are you going to do? All right, well, let's see what our bot does. Commander. Okay, corpse sec, that has initiative of 5, so that's going to go there. Captain is initiative of 9, so that's going to go there. Okay, so first, what does our captain do? We roll a d10 to find out. Okay, 5. They're going to command 2, so they're going to pull 2 more cards out, which isn't great. So that is going to go there. Oof, this is rough. Yick. I don't like it. Look at all these cards. Okay, but that's done for the captain, so I'm going to discard him. Okay, so then we do our sergeant. Sergeant Y. So if there are matching cards in play, he's going to inspire. Oh, no, why? He's going to inspire 2. So both of these are going to be inspired. So they're going to go twice. So I will rotate them to show that they are going to act twice. So our stalker, there's no interference in the play area, so they won't recon. Are they in a shared space with an enemy unit? Where's our stalker Y? No, our stalker Y is way over here. So then the space is secure, so they're going to scout 2. This is their unscouted objective, so that's what they're going to do. They're going to come into this space and try and scout this so they can take control of it. So they're going to scout 2, so they go 1, 2. We put a scout marker there, and they get an interference into their discard. And now, let's see. They take another turn, and we do need to go over their procedure again, because their situation has changed, right? They are now in a space with enemy units, which is the second thing on this list. So they will now attack 2. Now the hewer is a lower defense than the scanner, so I think they will go for that. Also, they're the unit with control, so that is who they will preference. So the stalker in the same space as the hewer is going to attack. This poor hewer is they're having a rough day. So they're in the same space, so we don't need to count range in our defense, but there's cover of 1, and the hewer is 4, so that's 5 total defense. They're on the same elevation, so that is a d10. How many? We are attacking 2. Ugh. 2 d10s, 50-50 shot. They just need a 5 or better. They got 1, 5, and 3. So our poor hewer, are they in my discard pile? We must get rid of this hewer. Rough time for them. So that is a casualty. That's them though. They've now acted twice. So now our corpse sec, let's see what they do. They will try to control, where are they? Corpse sec Y. They're here, so there's nothing for them to control. If the space controlled an enemy occupied, they would attack, but they're not in an enemy occupied space. This space is secure. I would say this space is secure because our Vulcan mech is in it. So they will move 1 to a threatened objective. There's no threatened objective because the bot doesn't control this objective or this objective. Now it seems strange, you might think this is threatened, right? But that's just not what that means. It's not threatened because they don't even have control of it yet. But it is now an uncontrolled scouted objective. They only have a move 1, so they can't get there. So they will move to the space nearest to it, which of course makes sense. So they're going to move here. That's them. Then, again, because they were inspired, they're going to go again. They're going to do the exact same thing, and they end up, because they want to try and control this space. This is a very popular space right here. We got lots of people in it. Corpsec is in this space now with their move 1, because they're hoping on their turn to control it. They're going to have to kill us first. You're going to have to kill us. Oh, wait. We have another card for them. Commander. Okay, the commander will attack depending on the threshold. Oh, Commander H. We haven't seen Hades act yet. But Hades, this is the commander of the Hades mech. So, threshold, they'll do their special attack, which is a pulse in this case. But the range on the pulse attack, you can see here, is 1. None of the breaker units are in range, so they can't do the pulse attack, which means we go to the next option on the procedure, which is an 8 to suppress. So instead of attacking, they will do a suppress. Now, you'll see that suppress is not actually on their card. Because in our chart of procedures, it's suppress X. That X means you would get the suppress value. How many dice are they rolling to suppress? From the unit, from the card you're looking at. Well, we can't get that value from this card because it's not on this card. They don't have that option. So we won't actually do that action. We will go down to the next one, which is bolster to M. So that's from the deck that has mechs in it. So they're going to actually do that. They're going to bolster 2 from the mech deck. So they're going to get a navigator and another navigator. That's what they do. Whew, that could have been pretty bad for us, actually. Initiative time. We need to get control of this space and then control of that space and get out of here. So let's pull our 4 cards. See what we get. Hewer, scanner. I don't care about all this A stuff now. It might be good to hunker down. Could get that scouted. I thought I was going to move the survey tech over there, but actually I might move our scanner because of that. I have all these A cards in my hand. It will leave the hewer a little bit unsafe, but I could bolster the hewer in. I have 1 more card for bolstering the hewer to make it harder to get rid of them. Okay, I am going to bid with my survey tech C. Which wasn't what I thought I was going to do this turn, but that's how it goes. All right, let's see what they do. Corpsec 5. You lose, LFA. I keep the initiative. Go into your discard. Go into my discard. Can we attack? All right, I have some things I want to do. I'm going to move my scanner out of there. I'm going to play my scanner, and he's going to scout too. Excuse me, she's going to scout too. So they're going to walk on the bridge here. 1, 2. It's just basically moving. We're not scouting into new spaces. I'm just trying to get them to here. Ooh, I wanted to bolster. I want to inspire and I want to guide and bolster. Oh, what do I do? I'm in a bad spot with that hewer. Let's wait. Hold on. First, let's see. Can this hewer do any damage? This hewer. Oh, yes, he's going to do a special attack. So he needs to be at melee range. Range is 0 on it. So he's in the same space as the Corpsec. So he's going to do his special attack, which means he can attack 2. So I'm going to roll 2 dice. It just means I have a better chance of hitting because I've got a blade, I feel like it's like a circular saw. I'm just like hewing people with, right? To attack the Corpsec Y. So we are in the same elevation. So that's a D10. But I'm going to take 2. Same range. So it's +1 for cover, +4 for the natural defense. So that's 5 total on 2d10. I just need 1 to be a 5. Oh, I wish there was criticals, but there's not. That's 2 successes, but it's only 1 casualty. Oh, I have the initiative. We get to do the thing. Okay, first we search the discard for Corpsec Y to come out. There we go. That is a casualty. Bye-bye. And then, because I have the initiative, I'm going to place a control marker on that unit. So if that unit comes out in their hand, it's going to be removed from the play area. It's not going to be able to act this turn. I like that a lot. So then do I have my squad leader inspire my scanner and have the scanner move and scout this space? Or do I have my squad leader bolster? I'm scared. I'm scared of the Hewer going down. But I'd like to get that. Let's go wild. Let's go big or go home, you know? Let's get this space scouted so that we can get into it. Will I have regrets? Maybe. Squad leader is going to inspire my scanner. So I'll play again and scout 2, 1. It's only going to go 1. He only needs to go 1. Scout. Get an interference. Put it in my discard. Come on. We just need to control these 2 spaces. Let's go. Their turn. Corpsec. Z. It's a 5. Stalker. Y. It's a 6. They need 1 more card, but they're out of cards. Sergeant. Y. Alrighty. Ugh. Why do I keep pulling them? They always inspire. Okay, Sergeant will inspire 2. There's only 1 matching card, so they'll just inspire the 1. But that is what they'll do, and then they go away. Look what I pulled! Oh no, that's Corpsec Y who's got the control marker. I wanted it to be Corpsec Z so that this could go away, but it's not. Okay. Okay, my Stalker Y will act twice. So here they are. They are in a space shared with an enemy unit, so they're going to attack. Oh, they're going to do this twice. This is my choice about not bolstering my Hewer. Might immediately come back to bite me in the butt. So they attack 2 with D10s. I have a defense of 5. Again, 1 for cover, 4 for the natural defense. Almost a miss. That's a casualty because that one's a 6. So that'll hit. So my defense is only 5. Cure card. Bye. Sad. Oh no. I think if this next one hits, he's dead. And then they're just going to be able to take control from me. Then he acts again. He's going to do the same thing. Oh, a 10. Why? Why are they rolling so well? I don't think I have any other Hewer cards. I think that Hewer, they might win from neutralized. Oh, man. Yeah, that's it. Hewer's gone. That's not good. So they have another 2 of their 3 neutralized breaker units. You're done. You're done. A scout shouldn't be able to just kill people like that. This Corpsec Y. This is really bad on this side of the board, actually. I need to, ooh boy. Okay, now the Corpsec Z will go and they'll control. That's a bummer. Okay. I'm not winning at this point in the game. Figure out initiative. I take 3 cards. I will shuffle. I should have bolstered. Oh, why did I do that? All right, let's see what I got. Interference. Ripper. Like, I could move control with my Ripper, my 2 Ripper cards, but I can't because I have to deal with these before we can do that. But I could move attack. Ugh, I'm going to lose this. They're going to get the initiative. I'm going to bid with my interference and hope that I can do something really good on my turn. Right now, in the comments, if you are also in full disbelief of the luck I've had with these initiative draws, this is like the opposite of my typical, like, dice curse, which is really just being cursed with being unlucky. Wow! They also pulled an interference, so the tie goes to me. Wild. We both keep the interference card in our decks. I am beyond shocked. Okay, so let's see here. Well, the first thing I think I'm going to do is command 2. So I can get more cards in my hand. See what happens. Survey Tech C. Squad Leader A. Okay. So let's start with our Rippers. Okay, I'm going to play a Ripper card. I'm going to move 1. to here. Boop. Then I'm going to play my second Ripper. Ugh. No, he's going to move one to here. That's still just one space away, but he's on a higher elevation. Okay, that's where he's going to go. He can't go there. They haven't scouted it. Fine, he's going here. It's fine. It has to happen. It has to happen. Then I attack with him. Okay, so it's only an attack of 1, and I'm on a lower elevation, so it'll be with a D8 against the corpse sec. So that's a defense of 5, so I need a 5 or better on this D8. Come on. No, it didn't happen. I rolled a 3. That was bad. You know what? This survey tech is going to try and attack all the way over to there. That's what I'm going to do. Attack 1. Okay, let's see what happens. So we're on equal elevation, so that's the D10. And I am 1, 2 away. 3 with the +1 cover. 4, so that's 7 or better on the D10. Remember when I was talking about my dice curse? Yeah. What a bungled up turn. All right, squad leader. Can bolster 2. I'm really nervous down here. I need to get my scanner back down there. Oh, this should have gone away. Sorry, everyone. The control marker on my on the Corpse Sec Y should have gone away after we pulled the cards in the last round for the bot. So I apologize for that. You know what? I'm gonna guide. I'm gonna guide my scanner, so they're gonna move 1 down to here. So when I pull their card, they'll be able to get into here, and hopefully it'll be fine. We'll just see what happens. We'll see. You know what? Who knows? All right, discard. Now let's see what the bot's doing. Corpse Sec Z. Commander. Oh, Hades is gonna act. And another Corpse Sec Z that will go here because they're tied. Oh boy. Our Corpse Sec doesn't need to control because it's already controlled. The space is not controlled and enemy occupied. It's just controlled. So if with the space secure, it is because the Stalker's in there. They're going to move toward a threatened objective. There is no threatened objective. An uncontrolled scouted objective. That's this one. So they're going to start to move over to there. So they're going to move 1. The space nearest. And so now we see, okay, the space nearest to that uncontrolled scouted objective, they're going to try and go further to the space furthest from the enemy, then elevated, then highest cover, then random. So furthest from the enemy is to go in here, and it's also elevated. So the Corpse Sec is going to go there. Then they're going to move again. So they're just going to basically do the same thing. They're making their way over to this because this is their uncontrolled scouted objective. So they will move now 1 more here. So that's their move for this card and their move for this card. Then we have the Commander of Hades. So again, we check the threshold for attacking. They would go after the Ripper, I think, because the Ripper has the ability to control. And that is 1, 2 spaces away. They're on higher elevations. They would roll a d12. And they would do a pulse. If they can meet the threshold of this, which I think they can, they'll do a pulse, which is 2. Okay. So possibly 2d12. Let's count here. We have 1, 2. There's no cover. 4. So that makes 6. So that's definitely the threshold because on d12s, they only need an 8. It's pretty high threshold. So yes, they are going to do a pulse attack. Now, if they do this, it will push the Ripper. It will do a casualty and push the Ripper to another space. So let's see what happens. 11 and 12. All right. I can't believe how well I'm rolling for the bot and not for myself. That's so typical. Hades goes, whop, and a pulse hits the Ripper and pushes them. I want to push them here, but it's probably going to push them here because it's actually farther away. We need to get control of this, and the Ripper's the one who can do it. And they take a casualty, so the Ripper card comes out of my deck. Okay, that is them. So let's see what else we draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. Scanner A, okay, they can come back over here and try and hold that. Nail Gunner C, that's good. They can try and take out this Stalker. I don't know how many Stalker cards I have in there. Survey Tech C can maybe do some attacking, maybe. Squad Leader C can Pathfind or Inspire or Bolster. We really need to work on... who do I have who can control? I need more Rippers. Wolf. I'm going to bid with my Survey Tech. They can't really do anything for me right now, so I'm bidding with my Survey Tech. For initiative, let's see what the bot pulls out. Oh, they win initiative. Everything's coming up LFA. This flips over to show they have the initiative. I lose my Survey Tech card. They gain the Captain card into their play area. And they'll go first. So now they'll pull 3 more cards. We'll put them in order based on their initiative values. And then they'll go. So the Captain will roll a d10 to see what they do. A 9. They will command 2. Oh, this is really bad. I could lose here if they kill. They could definitely take me out, potentially. Okay, so 2 more cards are going to come out. I'm going to get rid of him since I won't have room. Okay, the Stalker goes here. And the Sergeant goes here. Okay, so our Sergeant is going to inspire these 2 Stalkers. So the Stalker Z is going to go 4 times. So bad. So that's the Sergeant. They go away. Okay, so this Stalker will go first. There's no interference in the play area. The space is not shared with an enemy. The space is not secure because if they were to leave it... Let me see, actually. Let's double check. I don't think they'll leave it. The bot will not leave spaces that are not secure. I don't think they're going to leave it. Because if they were to leave it, yeah. If at least one of the following is true, and the bot does not have combat counters in the space other than the unit performing the action. So the space is not secure. So they will attack 2. Hey y'all, editor Paula here, popping in because while I've been working on this, I've discovered a mistake that I made here, and it's kind of an important one, and it does change the outcome, potentially, of the video. So I wanted to come in and explain it like this because I want to make sure that you understand what I did wrong here so that you can do it right in your own playthroughs. So you've just heard me say that this space is not secure and so the Stalker will do an attack. But I'm wrong. The space actually is secure, and it's because of this. A space is secure if at least one of the following is true. Here's the bit that I missed when I double-checked the rule while I was playing. The player has no units with a control or attack ability that would result in this space being threatened if other criteria were also met. There are no units of mine in this space with the control or attack ability that are going to threaten this space, which means the space is secure and that Stalker would not attack. Instead, they would do a scout action and they would move out of the space. Who knows how that would change the rest of how the game played, but it could change it, as you're about to see, because we're going to play out the results of the attack that I had the Stalker do against me instead. I hope that helps clarify some things. Back to editing. And they're going to attack the Nail Gunner, because that's the smart thing to do. So the Nail Gunner has to get out of this ditch. They're higher elevations, they'll roll a d12. They're going to roll 2d12 because they always get to attack 2. And it's just a defense of 5. Oh no. Jeez, guys. Where's my die? Yeah, I'd say they hit 7 and 11. So that's a casualty against my Nail Gunner C. Oh, are they in my hand? Yeah. What a bummer. So the Nail Gunner C has to come out of my hand. Oh, look, they're going to do it again. Exact same thing. Yep. I think this might be it. This might be where we lose. This might be how they neutralize 3 of my units. Yeah, a 6 and a 7, and my defense is 5. So yeah, that's another casualty. Let's look in my discard for Nail Gunner C. No, oh no, is this it? I think that's it. I think they just won. I think they've just removed the Nail Gunner from the game. That removes the counter from the board. They now have, very sadly, 3 of my neutralized units. That is one of their winning objectives. So they win. Oh, well, there you have it. The man wins again. Hard to fight the corporations. That's okay, us breakers. We'll get them back in scenario 3 somehow. Thank you so much for watching this solo playthrough of Undaunted 2200 Callisto. I hope you enjoyed watching me play and lose this game. If you enjoyed it, please give the video a thumbs up so that we know and the YouTube algorithm knows that you're liking what you see. If you enjoyed this, the other thing you could do is check out the Gameplayed series that's on this channel. It's hosted by Monique and Naveen, and they go head-to-head in 2-player games for that series. So definitely make sure you go check that out. Do you have any tips for me on ways I should have played better, things I should have done differently? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to know what you think and how I could get better. Better at the game, better at defeating the bot. It is tough. It is tough, and they do say in the rulebook that, you know, it is a difficult AI system that they have created because they want it to be a challenge, because normally you'd be going up against a thinking, strategizing human. So the AI for this needs to be a challenge. But there are ways you can make it harder if it's too easy for you, or easier if you find that you're losing a lot. So check out the rulebook for that. Speaking of checking out the rules, make sure you do go over and watch Rodney's How to Play video for Undaunted Callisto. And watch a bunch of the other stuff that we have on this channel. We do a bunch of top 10 lists. Matthew does a monthly Q&A video called Matthew Answers the Internet. And over on our Patreon, we have bonus vlogs, bonus Q&As. We'd love to see you over there. We really appreciate everyone who supports us on our Patreon. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, now is the perfect time to do that. Subscribe, hit the little bell so that you get notified whenever I have a new episode of Table for One for you. And until then, thanks for watching.